let's talk about the new characters this season. Getting back to the flashbacks, the two main new characters are Maseo and Katana. I know I said characters, but what characters? There's not much to say about them. Maseo is an Argus agent, and he's Oliver's handler, and there's Katana, and she resents Oliver for some reason, and there's a kid there too, and I'm guessing that the kid's theirs and they're married or something. So Oliver is living with this family, and Amanda Waller needs Oliver for some reason to be there. That's never quite explained, and it's basically like poor man's version of 24. Argus is after China White to prevent the release of the Alpha Omega virus, which conveniently shows up in the present day as the means of which the League of Assassins is going to destroy Starling City. Oh, how convenient. So, Amanda Waller teaches Oliver how to torture people to get information out of them, and him and Maseo, they kill people, they question people, they try getting information from people, they break into places to get this Alpha Omega virus. So like I said, very poor man's version of 24. Like, there's nothing all that superhero-y going on in these flashbacks. I mean, other than the couple fights that Katana gets in. If it wasn't for those couple of fights, you'd probably mistake it as a crap version of 24. Not very interesting. And if they really wanted to tie the flashbacks to League of Assassins somehow, Sensei is from Hong Kong. The flashbacks take place in Hong Kong. Sensei is a prominent member of the League of Assassins. Just throwing it out there. I mean, that's one way to tie things together, even though I'm not a big fan, as you can tell from my last video, of tying things directly like that. But if you had to do that, there was one way you can tie the League to the flashbacks. And it was much better in season 1, like I said in the last video, where it was more about Oliver's internal struggles as opposed to an external threat like Slade or the League. It's like, for example, like, there's this episode where Oliver's having trust issues with Yao Fei, and that's paralleled in the present with the trust issues that he's having with his mom. See, thematic, paralleling. See, that's cool. But honestly, I don't think those writers realized that was good. Like, I think they thought that was dumb because it didn't connect enough or something. So now they gotta beat it over the head with the friggin' connections. Like, they gotta make it very obvious. This thing wasn't the flashback. Oh, here it is in the present day later in the episode. It's lame. So, okay, enough of those two. Now we got Ra's al Ghul. Now, I give them credit for doing comic book Ra's al Ghul here, as opposed to Nolan Batman Ra's al Ghul, which, given their constant references to fucking Nolan Batman, and their whole, like, ripping off plot points, like, like I said in the first video, Batman Begins is like the first season of Arrow, and then the second season's like Dark Knight Rises, and this third season is apparently like Batman and Robin, because it's a fucking disgrace. So, okay, so you got Ra's al Ghul, and I think the actor, he's only of the episodes I've seen, he only shows up in the end of the fourth episode, doesn't really do anything. Then he shows up, well, he's pretty prominent in the ninth episode, and Oliver has a big fight with him, and I'll get into that later, how fucking retarded that is. And I think the actor does a good job. He acts like comic book Ra's al Ghul, nothing to complain about there. Maybe the actor doesn't quite look like him, but whatever. Friggin' Manu Bennett doesn't exactly look like Deathstroke. The guy playing Merlin doesn't exactly look like Merlin. Stuff like that. But whatever, close enough, right? I mean, one of the missed opportunities with the league, I think, is why weren't there more actual League of Assassins members shown? Like, they're all just like the freaking Putty Patrol from fucking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Fucking Diggle and fucking Laurel can fucking take them out. Like, seriously? Like, this must be the freaking League of Assassins. In the second season, Oliver has difficulty fighting off one member. And now, like, what, they're just like cannon fodder? They're just like, just typical, like, goons. Like, if you're gonna do League of Assassins, I mean, like, other than maybe some of the animated stuff, we haven't really seen much of the League of Assassins besides Roz and Talia al Ghul. And I actually like that they chose to use Nisa al Ghul as opposed to Talia if they're gonna use one of Ra's al Ghul's daughters. See, that's the kind of, like, decision making I liked in the first couple of seasons. They didn't go with the obvious choices. I'm sorry, I'm a fucking hipster when it comes to the fucking comic book characters, alright? I mean, stop using the mainstream Batman characters. Anyway, so, if you're gonna do the League, I mean, why not, have David Kane there, or Ebenezer Dark, or Lady Shiva. Friggin', you're gonna have a story with the League of Assassins and Black Canary, but you're not gonna involve Lady Shiva at all. I mean, and these guys know they're DC comic shit based on the stuff they do in the Flash and Arrow. Like, they know about the obscure shit. They're very well versed in this stuff. Why would you not put Lady Shiva in there? There's an obvious history there. And like I said earlier, Sensei. Why not have Sensei there? How about Richard Dragon? He's in the New 52. He's one of these guys who works with the League to train new League members. Why not do the New 52 Richard Dragon thing where Ricardo Diaz Jr. is trained by him and then kills Richard Dragon, then takes the Richard Dragon name and then goes after Diggle and Green Arrow to get revenge for his father? You could have started planting the seeds for that. Like, there's so much. I mean, how about the what is it? The seven men of death or whatever they're called. I mean, Merlin was a member of that. They were the Raw's personal hit squad. Like, why wouldn't you use that on the friggin' show? Like, something. Like, any of this stuff. It's as though the only League members are friggin' Maseo or Roz or Nisa. It's just like, and everyone else is just fucking no-name nobodies. And you got like a bunch of comic history to draw from here. It's like they only cared enough about the League of Assassins to just do Ra's al Ghul, because apparently they like Batman, I guess. How about Professor Ojo? I mean, I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, or maybe it's Professor Ojo. I don't know, but I mean, he works with the League to fucking brainwash people. And later in the season, the League tries to brainwash Oliver. Why would you not use Professor Ojo? Why? It's just a wasted opportunity. Ugh. So we also got DC's Iron Man, the Diet Coke caffeine-free Dollar Tree day-old bread bootleg merchandise reduced rack fucking Tony Stark Iron Man. And it's funny because in actuality, the Atom is DC's Ant-Man, not Iron Man. And originally he was supposed to be Ted Kord Blue Beetle, but they were told by DC and Warner Brothers that they had other plans for him in live action. They couldn't use him. Okay, but you gave him permission to use Katana, who is going to be in the Suicide Squad movie that's coming out next year. And we haven't heard a damn thing about Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, and anything. But yet they can use Katana, that's fine. I've never understood DC in these embargoes, but anywho. So we got this guy, this Ray Palmer guy, and his big plan is to make an Iron Man armor, a blue Iron Man armor, and he's gonna flirt with Felicity, and the way it's played up is that he's like the Han Solo kind of lovable scoundrel, Tony Stark type archetype, and basically she's pretty much Pepper Potts, and she falls for his affections. And at first she resists him, but then he buys her a necklace and a dress, or rents her a necklace or something, and then suddenly, oh, I love this guy. Like, really? They made her totally shallow, totally unlikable. And what the writers, they think they're really clever. They think they have the Iron Man Pepper Potts relationship. They think they recreated that. And they didn't. It's stupid, and it just makes Felicity seem like a shallow bimbo when she should be better than that. And even then, even if they did successfully create the Pepper Potts, Tony Stark, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Gwyneth Paltrow, Robert Downey Jr. thing, why would you do that? Why do that? That is such a blatant copy of something Marvel did. Like, it just looks cheap. Is everything on the show and everything, well, a lot of things in Flash, these seasons just seem like the cheap version of something else. It's just, when Arrow, the first couple seasons of Arrow, they just seemed like the definitive versions of things. Like, they seemed like the awesome version of things. Like, John Barrowman, Merlin, like, that was awesome. Like, the definitive Dark Archer. You got Manu Bennett, Slade Wilson, the definitive Deathstroke. And Stephen Amell's Green Arrow, maybe not exactly like comic book Green Arrow, but hey, I take him as the definitive live-action Green Arrow. Why not? But now this season, they seem to just want to settle for crap. Enough of that tangent. So, and then just to quickly wrap this up, the other new kind of recurring character we have is Ted Grant, Wildcat. Nothing really to say about him. He trains Laurel to become Black Canary, so as soon as he showed up, we knew that we were going to get the Laurel Black Canary. And he had an episode in this season, and I thought, it was fine, but nothing really much to say about him. So next video, I'm going to be going over our main cast and what they're up to this season.